Hey guys, this is Morgan Harrell from Peach Ties. We're here at DaggerCon the Anime Convention, and we have some really amazing guests that has a really cool project that is in the works, and I think millions of fans want to go ahead and get the exclusive scoop what's going on. So gentlemen, go ahead and tell me your names.
I'm Keith Bailey.
I'm Draven Dupree.
And I am Michael Frost.
I work in the film and television industry mostly. I do special effects makeup, but I also am a screenwriter and have worked on several of the science fiction fantasy shows that you know from the past, such as Star Trek Next Generation, Firefly, Charmed, Buffy, a lot of the shows that you saw in the 80s and 90s.
I'm first and foremost a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers super fan. So much so that I apparently developed a familiar face. Don't know how that happened. I've also performed on stage for 2 years back in the early aughts. I have played such roles as Erroneous in A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. I have played Dr. Frankenfurter in Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I have played the Demon Barber of Fleet Street in same title.
Okay, nice.
I don't have much experience when it comes to acting. I'm an electrician by trade, but I've done a lot when it comes to working alongside people in theater. I've worked a lot in LARP spaces and tabletop roleplay like Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder, and I hope what experience I have lends itself to the role I'm going to play.
And that's actually a good reason why I wanted you at the panel. You're the perfect example, because our fan film is made by fans, with fans, for fans. And that's a big step of it. We have a decent amount of people that are just everyday individuals. That's why more couldn't be here. Work got in the way. But they're very talented individuals. I know him personally, and I've done my research, and Jason Narvey himself wasn't that much of an actor when he first stepped up to the role of Skull, and he leaned a lot on Paul Schreier in the beginning stages of Bulk and Skull and let him lead the way, and I'm hoping the same can happen on set for him. But he's got a lot of talent.
Wow, and I love your cosplay. So go ahead and tell the audience, tell me about your costume. 'Cause it's so fire.
This I basically got it mostly on AliExpress. It totaled up to about almost $700. I had to piece it over together between 2 years of tax returns to get it. But yeah, I started piecing this together about 6 months after JDF's passing. It just was one of those, I got tired of seeing my reflection, or seeing the reflection of my hero in the mirror and not doing anything about it. I kind of felt like I was wasting a gift that I'd known I'd had since I was about 18.
Wow. And growing up, well, I'm 29, but growing up as a kid, Power Rangers was so big in my household. I'm the only girl in my family, and I have 3 brothers. So seeing that, it just brought people together. It gives about unity and hope and power and love. So why are you so passionate about this project?
Well, me personally, I'm not going to get into dark things. My past would have those, but suffice to say, I had a very troubling childhood.
Right.
I went through a lot of things and a lot of loss, and that loss happened at a point in time that Power Rangers was coming out. It was hitting hard, and right after the 1995 movie had come out, I lost my grandfather, who raised me up until that point, and I'd lost a father figure. And from that point forward, Jason David Frank's character, Tommy Oliver, became like a father figure for me. And I modeled myself after him. I started taking martial arts, made it to Greenbelt, and then my grandmother pulled me out. But I joined the service, went in to become security police. I've tried my best to model my life after him, but we all make mistakes. We all get confused, and I sometimes think I have things figured out, and I'm 100 or at least 50% wrong, and that's gotten in the way of my progress in the past. But For me, JDF's passing was kind of a wake-up call that I was wasting talent that a lot of my friends and family told me that I needed to pursue. And when I stopped wasting that talent and I started going for it, I started meeting people. And I did pray, because I had reached a point where I had lost everything, and I was trying my best to get back. And it was one of those, I just looked at God and I was like, listen, the me suffering don't work, because that's just a daily for me. I need something because I don't know what I'm doing anymore. And there's only ever been one thing that mattered to me growing up. I'm insanely obsessed with Power Rangers. And I just said, give me a son.
Right.
And ever since then, meeting you outside is one of those signs. Everything that has happened, meeting him, the connections that he has, a friend that I made recently, but he's got talent, he's got skill, and I know he can pull off the role. Moments when I thought that this panel was going to turn out forward, because at the last minute we lost a lot of people that were supposed to be here because of scheduling or other things that I just didn't get the memo on. And I didn't think this panel was going to do anything. And as I asked him, should I wear my suit? Every panel I bring it, and I don't know if I'm going to wear it or not. I asked him, should I wear it for the panel? And he says, this is a cosplay-based panel, you should wear it. As soon as I put on the suit and walked out, you asked me questions. I walked back in here, I talked to him for a minute, and the thought hit me. It was like, that's your solution. Instead of her getting afterwards, make her the center of the interview. We need somebody to ask questions. We aren't the ones that should be asking the questions. Someone that wants to know answers should be asking the questions. And it just, that's a sign to me. I think this is something that right now what our country's going through.
Yes.
Power Rangers had an effect on society when I was a kid that blocked up interstates for miles. An extra day of a panel much bigger than this, just because they had to. Too many people had come out. When kids can throw up such a fit that a 14-episode character becomes the face of a brand. Those same kids today are lawyers, there are firefighters, there are police officers, but so much stuff has been going on in this world that it just feels like we forgot where that heart is. It's become a country of, what do you bring to the table? People forgot they need to bring their own to the table. Good book says that I'll meet you halfway, but you have to do the work first. And we are right now in the early stages doing that grind, doing that work, and I'm going to keep rambling because I have the gift of gab.
Right. That's
I'm
okay. That's beautiful. I'm so glad we met today. That's definitely a sign that God has given you. So great job. So question for you is, so we got the script, right? And in 2026, I think a lot of people are being exposed because now you don't have to wait on people to get your project greenlit. You got people in the industry, and then Atlanta being such a hub, you got stunts. You got, I'm a choreographer, and, dance is such a movement in Power Rangers. So you're already manifesting this is happening, right? So after this is being made, because we claim it to be, where do you see what's going to happen next?
I mean, we already have plans for sequels if we get this accomplished, and for a series that's going to be continuing the storyline that they did in the last movie. But there's a lot of things that we're changing up with this. We're trying to fill a niche that really has happened because the Power Rangers and the people that watched it are growing up. And so the Power Rangers need to grow up a little bit. So we're keeping all the camp and stuff, but we're dealing with some more adult issues with the characters, and that we're also keeping teenagers and then kids in the storyline too, so that you have all the generations together to be able to watch this, get some inspiration from it. And one of the things the Power Rangers did, which I always appreciated, was they tried to be inclusive of a lot of different types of people and personalities and stuff on the show. And it's sort of like Star Trek did, in its day. And I think that's one of the reasons why it resonated with so many kids, was because they could see themselves in some of the characters.
Yeah. Well, that's so wonderful. So a really good question too. We got Marvel, we got DC, but Power Rangers itself is like a universal brand. I mean, like from action figures to clothing, changing people's lives. So, AI is a big conversation that I had on my panel earlier today. Would you be willing to use a slight bit of AI if it presented the opportunity to help go along your production in a healthy way?
I'll say this, in the early stages, when, I'll be honest, I didn't know what route we were going to take, because swords, you at least need CGI, and the temptation to use AI as a shortcut was there. But we put time and thought and discussion into it. We did our research on what fans were saying about AI's involvement. And while something on YouTube, a TikTok, something about 5 minutes, maybe 5-10 seconds, that's nice. That's fun to watch. But this is a fan project. It's about what fans can bring to the table, not what an automated intelligence can bring to the table. It's about what fans can create. And while AI is a form of creation, it's a form of creation that takes shortcuts. And I was raised that if you want to do something, take the time to do it right. And if you're going to take the time to do it right, AI really can't be a big part of it. What we are using AI for is to help design the costumes.
Okay.
And we are using that as a base model for then actual costumers, cosplay companies to help build the costumes. And we also have a personal friend of mine who served with someone who has his own forge. The personal friend of mine calls him his ginger version of me. Because we also served together. I'm former Air Force.
Thank you for your service.
Didn't serve that long. I don't feel I earned it, and apparently neither did Trump, because he got funding, and that funding made things difficult. But we're here, so we made it through that. The AI thing is it's tempting, but I don't think it's what the fans want. And if it's not what the fans want, that's not something we can do.
Gotcha. So with the fans listening right now, what do you want? What do you need from the fans?
I mean, support is always going to be the first thing that you're going to want from the fans. You want them to talk about it. You want them to get out there and try to push it forward. It's not even so much getting money from the fans as much as it is getting the attention and the word out that this is going to happen. I've done other fan projects before. We did Star Trek First Frontier, which we did up in Mableton, and it became canon for the Star Trek series.
Nice.
And one of those things that we're trying to do with this one is fill in some of those gaps in the history of the Power Rangers and what's going on with Power Rangers. And then have the fans talking about that to build the attention to get the funding. I mean, we don't expect the fans to have that kind of money,
Right.
We will have, a Kickstarter or some sort of a program for that, for people that want to donate and want to be a part in that way. But that's not the only thing they can do to participate. I mean, to be a part of this, you just have to get out there, follow us, be, part of the whole concept of building it and being part of that grassroots, effort.
And to that, because you asked earlier about what the goal of what we were making. When Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie originally came out, it was slated to be 3 movies, not 1. It was slated to originally have Austin St. John, Walter Jones, Tui Trang. In other words, Jason, Zach, and Trini were supposed to be the ones that went to Fadus. there's questions about where these characters all ended up. And while we don't want to affect the main timeline, it's a multi-grid. It's well established that it's a multi-grid in the comics, the TV shows, the movies. Our goal is to take all of that, use the multi-grid theory to bring that all under one roof, and put some characters that deserve to be on a big screen. Give them the gravitas and the send-off that they deserved, but they never got. I watch all the original cast. I am constantly watching their feeds, hearing what they think the characters should have done. I watch constantly on fan feedback on what they would have liked. And for the last 30 years, what started off with a simple question: there was a clone of Tommy Oliver. He had 3 episodes. And then they left him in colonial times Angel Grove, and we never heard from him since. What I am willing to give away, because we discussed this, what we're willing to give away about the fan film, it starts off in Grid 95, the movie. But it starts off in colonial time period of Grid 95. Because what happened in Power Rangers up into that movie, in our theory, is also canon to the movie, albeit in a skewed way, slightly different here and there, which means the clone of Tommy Oliver was also created in that timeline. What happened to that character? We send him to the nexus of the grid, which is so close to the core of the grid that things are similar but a little bit skewed, to explain why the cast doesn't look exactly like they should. They're slightly skewed. And from there, we go on with the timeline. There is 35 suits that will be seen within that.
Yeah, and lots of fights.
Lots of fights.
Right, lots of fight.
10 fight scenes as counted now, and we're still talking about adding some more. We want action, we want story, because what came out in 2017 was none of that. It didn't feel like Power Rangers. And Bryan Cranston, if no one else, deserved better, because he has been with Power Rangers since the beginning.
Right.
He was a voice of a lot of the monsters, and I was excited to see him come back as Zordon, because that man is a talented actor and can do wonders.
Gotcha. And there's a lot of fans that are maybe actors, so they want to ask, like, well, how can I audition for a role that you haven't, cast yet? What is information they can get on that if they want to audition for a role that fits the glove?
Okay, we do have script sides that they can get a hold of that they can actually read for a part, give a video audition, and send it in. I'm going to let our friend over here talk a little bit about that too, since he doesn't have as big a acting background, that it doesn't have to necessarily be a professional actor. I mean,
All right. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. I'm going to be playing, Eugene Skullovich, aka Skull, in this, and I could just do half decent impressions. I knew the bare bones. I spent a weekend learning how to do the laugh, and I knew how to pratfall from LARPing and such. I just talked to my friend about it, and
Coaching,
yeah,
listening, feedback, guidance on that. But as far as where they can go for auditions, I have an Instagram, The Green Stranger,
Okay.
Draven The Green Stranger Dupree. I think it's just The Green Stranger. Yeah, it's The Green Stranger. I haven't had to tell it to anybody, so it's not like top of my head. But it's The Green Stranger, all one word, stranger spelled STRAINGER. They can go to that Instagram, send me a message, and I will, I have a lot of time on my hands, not like every day, but I do have time on my hands in the evenings, and I check my Instagram daily, sometimes hourly,
Okay.
and I will get back to somebody if they reach out.
Awesome. How can people follow you, reach out to you?
Okay, I'm Keith Bailey, so you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Facebook. Those are the easiest ways. Also, you can use my email, which I'm going to give out here, which is probably the worst idea in the world, but it's also going to help.
Right.
It's KAYTMAN@yahoo.com. You can send an MP4 or send an audition tape directly to me, and I will go over it with the other people that need to make those decisions. But I mean, it's pretty easy to get a hold of all of us. I also have an IMDb page if people want to look at my history. I have strong ties to Star Trek Next Generation and all sorts of sci-fi, as we talked about earlier. So you can find out how you need to contact me through that too.
Gotcha. How can people follow you?
More often than not, they can't.
Okay.
I was
I-
waiting for that.
Yeah. I stay off of social media for largely mental health reasons.
I don't blame you. I don't
Yeah.
blame you. It's just so much toxic behaviors, and a lot of bots. They're not even real people to start arguments. So this project is what we need. We need more peace, more unity, more hope, happiness.
I prefer to talk to people in person, talk to people over the phone, and
Getting him on board had to be an in-person thing, because getting a hold of him not in person it's not a thing. We only talk like the day we know we're gonna meet. That's the only time I can get him on the phone. Like, hey, yeah, I'm on my way. Or, hey, yeah, I'm already here. Other than that, it has to be in person.
I have a really great question. The vertical scene is actually blooming a lot. Like people are filming things vertically in reverse to being horizontal. Would you, when you do film for this project, will you have a vertical version and a horizontal for TikTok? Or just a lot of TikTok Power Ranger fans.
One of the things that we're going to be looking at with this series when the filming goes through is to have it available where you can have the cinematic version, because we're going to have that for some of the networks that are interested. But you also are going to have a way of doing it on your phone and still being able to see it. And that's going to be doing like double taping of the show at the same time. So you're going to have it in a format where you can watch it on your small screen as well as on your large screen and not have to turn your phone if you don't want to. So I already had kind of thought about all that and have some people in mind that film at both things at the same time on the same camera. So.
Nice. Okay. And last but not least, what is something, before we get off, what is something you want to tell the fans? What is something you want to say?
I'll close this out.
Okay. One of the things I want to say about it is just know that we're going into this to have fun for the fans and with the fans. It's not about trying to do this ultra high-end money-making project. It's about doing something that the fans want to see and having fun with the fans at the same time. So if you have input about it, if you want to talk about it, you can talk to us and have some input in what's going on. Okay.
Awesome.
The one thing I would say is to piggyback off of what he said is that it's about the story.
Right.
When, granted, the graphics weren't all that great back when Star Wars originally came out, the way that George Lucas went about it, he wasn't trying to take the top tier things that were at the disposable. He went dumpster diving. He took every way he could possibly make something happen. He was innovative, he was creative, and he created something with a story from the heart. And he created something that has lasted since the 70s. That's our goal. It's about the story. And the story's already been laid out for us. We just have to follow the pieces.
Yeah,
And we're hoping that the fans follow those pieces with us.
absolutely. And it's coming together beautifully. And then, what would you like to say to the fans?
just one last thing on the force that fans can have on a community. We saw it with the Sonic movie, Sonic's design getting changed due to massive backlash. We saw it due to another self-produced movie, Iron Lung, coming out, and the raw fans of just one guy making something an overnight sensation. Well, not overnight, it was built for years, but a fantastic sensation and a beautiful movie. And the force that fans can have in the creation of beautiful things and turning things into just outright miracles can never be understated.
And another thing with that is fans have saved projects
Right.
several times. I mean, they've saved Daredevil, they've saved Sense8, they saved a bunch of programs, and they're now even bringing back another version of Firefly because the fans want it. So when the fans talk, the networks do tend to start listening if there's enough of them. So try to pressure them and get what you want out of the shows.
I love that. All right, you guys. So that was an exclusive interview about this amazing Power Rangers project. This is Morgan Faith Harrell, your host, signing off. And I'll see you guys for the next episode. Remember, be kind, be sweet, and it's always good to be a Georgia Peach. Later.